Challenging music is super interesting to me because it opens up a wide variety of benefits that I never really realized until this course. So a couple of the benefits that I've found so far is that I'm getting a wider range of sounds. So I'm experiencing new things, which is always great because, you know, it kind of opens my palette to new sounds that I don't particularly would have chosen to listen to. So that's also just really cool. It kind of tests what I already know. That's a big thing. I use familiar music as a reference to what I'm experiencing, and comparing that to what I listen to on a day-to-day basis. So especially like specific instruments, that's huge. I can kind of, make an idea of what I'm listening to, so that kind of shapes my understanding. For example, the flute, I imagine, the iconic kung fu battle scene when you hear that Japanese flute, but when you learn about like its origin, where it comes from, the rules of like the Zen, that really helped a ton, like kind of figuring out where those traditional instruments fit in. There's a good amount I've learned about myself from this class too, as well as challenging music. There's a lot that I don't pick up on right away, and I've mostly learned that from the discussion posts. People have a lot of very interesting insight that I just don't really notice right away. So that's a really cool perspective to physically see what someone else has to say about the same thing, even after you've dissected it. There's still something that you've missed. So that there's a lot more than just a surface level interpretation of music. What I really enjoyed was the closing your eyes, closing your ears, and then the different ways of active listening really changed my perspective of how a piece can be viewed. That was probably the most powerful exercise to me personally. Another thing I learned about myself is that I'm actually way more open to listening to new music. I did not think that I'm normally a snob about music that I don't particularly like, so that was really cool to kind of find myself being more open. What I've learned about my peers is that I don't always agree with them. I thought this would be more of a class where someone would say the obvious thing and then everyone would agree with them, but it's actually been quite the opposite. A lot of the times I found myself writing that's an interesting that you found that, because I think that it's not the way it is. And I guess I found that music is very subjective in nature, that just because someone sees something or hears something doesn't mean that they hear it the exact same. Kind of like the philosophical question, is the same blue that I see the same blue that you see? I guess that can also be used in terms of music as well. Another big thing is disagreement about philosophy. So one of the most maybe annoying but also interesting parts of the discussion has been the debate about 4 minutes and 33 seconds by John Cage. That was just so silly to me, because what I thought, I was like, this is not music. This is not music. It's just silence. But there's a lot of people that strongly disagreed that you can choose to be one or the other way. So the philosophy is a big part of the music that I did not initially think when I signed up for this class would be so big. So to finish off, we've been talking about how music has been beneficial. I kind of want to switch gears and talk about when it's not beneficial. So where does challenging music fall short? There's two big points I want to make. Is that music is usually used as a safety net. When we listen to challenging new music, it can make us feel a sense of uncomfortability, of awkwardness, that, it's not desirable, but sometimes you have to do it to break a threshold. The second thing is that just because we consider something music, if we consider silence music, anything's music, it doesn't technically make it good music. We feel spiritual about some things. Do we technically like the music? Is it worthy of being called music? So those are two kind of cool points I wanted to point out before I sign off. So thanks a lot.